It's my favorite day of the week, and I sure hope it's yours. It's Friday because we're back hitting you up for the next 30, and I cannot tell you how happy I am that you have decided to hang with us. What's been going on in your world? In my world, a couple things that you're going to want to know about, things that are going to be very exciting that I've been working on just for you to bring you the most curated, updated, specialized online boutique shopping experience unlike any other. According to the survey that you so graciously filled out for me, and I do appreciate it, I have gotten feedback and suggestions about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to see, and what you're looking for, and actual pain points that you have currently when you shop online that I will be solving for you, by the way. Now, before we delve into the boutique concept, before we talk about what that's going to be, I just want you to know that I have been doing extensive research on clothes that will fit your lifestyle no matter where you live in the world or what season it is. Now, of course, we will be carrying items that are current season, like summer clothes in summer, winter clothes in winter, and so forth and so on. But a lot of the things that we will be carrying will be seasonless, and you will be able to mix and match and layer with other things, say if it's colder outside or warmer outside, which really is the point to be able to wear your wardrobe year round, if possible, unless you live in South Dakota, of course, or something crazy like that. I did have one person fill out the survey who lives in Fairbanks, Alaska, loving that journey for us. That will present some buying opportunities, of course, keeping in mind people who might live in extreme climates like Alaska, which I hear is gorgeous, by the way, especially in the summer, which is probably the shortest summer on earth. But anyway, you're going to love, love, love it. And I cannot wait to get your feedback. The name of the game is getting your opinion so I can make sure we have exactly what you need to create an updated wardrobe that will elevate your current style. And if it's any consolation, I can't wait to wear some of the styles myself to give you real-time reviews on the function and the fit of the clothing. These will be things that no one else in your circle will have or have probably even heard of, to be honest, which really is the point, to create a style that is unique and tailored to your needs, all while looking better than all of your friends. Let's be honest. Think of this chapter as life beyond the mall, is what I like to call it. Stepping away from mass market brands and concentrating on fit and buying quality over quantity that will last you for years to come. More on this later. Please consider engaging with us on social media, as most of the information about the online boutique experience will be posted there. I will be talking about it on the podcast, of course, but most of the information and the drops will be on the podcast, and the podcast is only once a week. So make sure, please follow us on Instagram. Check your Instagram right now. Make sure you're following us because I need y'all to engage, of course, on Instagram. That's Holly Katz Styling, all one word, and the Fashion Crimes podcast on Instagram. And please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, which is Fashion Crimes Podcast, so you can watch all of the videos as I will be styling clothes in some of the videos as well. And speaking of videos, make sure you subscribe to the Fashion Crimes Podcast YouTube channel, as you'll get all the videos there, which explains the styles that I will be selling and how to wear them. In fashion news, the upcoming tariffs are all that anyone in fashion is talking about. Being that this is in no way, shape, or form a political podcast, my question is, will this cut down on the redonkulous overconsumption of fast fashion? Perhaps, but if it hurts these companies' bottom line, like Shein and Temu, What will stem from that? I feel like if it's not cheap clothing at a cheap price, there will be some kind of loophole somewhere, somehow, that will backfire and create like a fast fashion black market or something. It's just too easy to go online and buy cheap stuff, and it has been for years. Now, I think it's confusing to figure out what to buy for people who are more price driven when it comes to clothes because obviously you are tempted by cheaper prices. If you don't have those options anymore, then will that force you to buy better quality clothes at a higher price? I don't mean you specifically, I mean you collectively. Maybe it will. That's what I'm hoping for that will come out of this tariff situation. Now, it will affect everyone in the world, probably, including myself, but most of the clothing that I buy, I either buy in person or from smaller brands. So it won't affect me as much as it might affect others. Now, the brands for the online boutique curated just for you, which is opening in July, more about this later, I have to make sure that the things I am buying are indeed made in the USA. So I don't run into these problems and I don't have to charge customers more because I'm paying more. That's the whole point, is to bring you quality items over quantity at fair prices. Sapna Maswarhi of the New York Times states that, quote, Temu and Shein have been in the crosshairs of lawmakers in the past few years as they have expanded their presence in the United States. Politicians and industry groups have accused them of undercutting American manufacturers and importing counterfeit items. Now, Temu has been accused of using forced labor in its supply chain, while Shein disclosed last year that it had found child labor in its supply chain. Both companies have also been criticized for fueling excessive consumption, unquote. I mean, obviously, and that's how the cycle of bad fashion in America continues in the world. I said America, but really in the world. People buy cheap stuff, they buy it for their kids, and then their kids grow up to be adults thinking that it's okay to wear clothes from fast fashion brands as an adult because that's all they've been shown, that's all they know. And it's not about spending more money on clothes, it's about taking part in the sustainability movement. Buying gently used or secondhand items, which will reflect cheaper prices, in addition to buying from smaller brands and supporting small businesses that have less of an impact on the environment. As I have said before, no closet is fast fashion free. However, buying less and buying more intentionally will have a better impact on your style and your wallet. The first two things on my shit list, to be honest, is child labor, A, and B, forced labor and counterfeit items. Okay, that was 3. Now, there is no worse fashion crime in the world than bootleg fake items. That is a fashion crime, especially bags and jewelry. If you can't afford the real thing, that's okay. That's not the brand for you. Now, I have had counterfeit items in the past before I knew better. And once I knew better, I did better. So please do not purchase or participate in contributing to the counterfeit black market, because that's really what it is. Illegal black market items that probably support people who obviously are only out for themselves and don't know anything about real fashion or style, and probably have horrible work conditions on top of that. When you produce in secret, you sell in secret. Not chic, and definitely not a good look. And speaking of sustainability, my girlfriend and I went to ThriftCon here in Atlanta and walked around for a few hours. It was us and tons of vendors selling gently used clothing. Now, I did end up scoring a t-shirt from my middle school, if you can believe that. And the reason why I know that is because I asked the guy, and he was from Raleigh. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. I mean, ain't that some shit? Hilarious. I sent a pic to my best friend since 6th grade, Jenny of Jenny Fit Start, and she was like, OMG, get that for me. And I did. And Jenny is a very successful senior and beginner fitness instructor with a channel on YouTube. If you want to learn more about her and what she does, please go back and listen to episode 149, where we talk about the best fitness clothing for your workouts, or better yet, go to the Fashion Crimes Podcast YouTube channel to check out our video. And then go to her channel, Jenny Fit Start. Then I scored a Foxy Brown t-shirt featuring Pam Grier. I mean, I don't want to even tell you what I paid for that. However, patting myself on the back for that score. I really didn't find it though. I'm a terrible liar. My girlfriend found it. She's like, OMG, look at this shirt. And she works for my husband. So of course she knows Pam and she's met her before. And I was like, oh my God, how much? He did give us a little discount, so we appreciated that. Anyway, I totally texted Pam and sent her a picture, and the dealer was very impressed, to say the least. If you don't know who Pam Grier is, she is a complete badass. She was the first Black female superwoman detective in the movies and on TV in the 70s and 80s, and some in the 90s. That was episode 217, so please listen to that if you did not catch that episode. Again, also on our YouTube channel. ThriftCon was great and had such a huge turnout, so kudos to them. You can absolutely mix high and low end items together, which I recommend that this is something that you do on the regular with your wardrobe. You should not have everything high end, and you certainly should not have everything low end either. You should strive to have a nice balance so you can mix things together and make everything actually look high end. That is great style. People have no idea how old you are or how much your clothing costs. That's good style. Now, the difference between high-end, low-end items might seem obvious to you, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So high-ticket items would be something that probably starts in the $400 to $500 range and up. Low-end would be probably $150 or less. And anything in the middle, say over $150, would be considered moderately priced. Now, this isn't written in stone. This is just what I consider high and low end when I give shopping advice and suggestions. Now, if you love to shop but don't know what to shop for, then start here. Designer high-end pieces can be acquired from the store at full price, sure. Or how about this, secondhand? In the market for a fabulous designer bag, shop around a little at consignment stores, places like our friend Chloe from Madison and Fifth, in Savannah, Georgia, Vestiaire Collective, or perhaps The Real Real. Secondhand will not only give you a discount, it's good for your conscience and will actually allow more bags into your life because you will have more to spend, so your money will go further. Now, we've talked about this before. How can you go to secondhand luxury websites and buy something even with the tags attached? Well, you might be surprised. Maybe you won't be. True story, it happened to me and it can happen to you. Sometimes people buy something thinking they're going to use it, or they get it as a gift, or they just don't get around to wearing it. So then you receive the item at a discount, even though it's still got the tags on it. Also, people who want to regularly rotate their wardrobe will buy and sell secondhand. It's a great resource for the fickle person who always wants a wardrobe rotation and something new. And it's even better for the environment. So that's a great reason right there to shop secondhand. Now, when you shop high end, the best place to put that money is definitely going to be in the accessories. Accessories usually means bags, shoes, jewelry, scarves, hats, etc. These are items that you can really tell are high-end. You don't want to waste a high-end piece on something like a pair of black pants. You might want the high-end pieces to be subtle, but you also want them to be recognizable. This trend is also often called quiet luxury. You want the low end pieces to blend with a sense of ease in conjunction with the rest of your look. A person who achieves this look correctly will have someone look at them and not be able to tell which pieces are high end and which pieces are low end. And again, that's great style. And that's how you pull off a high low look. Now, when to splurge on high-end pieces? Invest in classic high-end accessories that have long-term mileage, such as a designer handbag, like we said before, or sunglasses. These items can elevate your entire look and make your low-cost pieces appear more luxurious. Buying high ticket items can be intimidating and daunting if you've never done it before, but once you shop around and research what you're looking for, then you will feel better about spending the money. Most people with a financial block around clothes don't see the value of why things cost what they cost. From working in garment construction and costing, I can confirm for you without a doubt 1000%, you seriously get what you pay for. Now, there is a reason that things cost what they do, and clothes are no different. Everything from the stitching to the fabric to the actual pattern it takes to make the garment makes a huge difference. Now, the reason for this is why I am constantly talking about shopping for fit first instead of color or for price. When you shop for fit, you will have a better product that you can wear longer. Things that fit you better on your body will probably cost you a little bit more. Let's take bras, for example. If you're buying bras from a big box store or ordering them from a cheaper price, then you are probably sacrificing fit, or you could be sacrificing for fit. I have never worn an inexpensive bra that fit well. Sure, you can get by with it, but until you try on something that fits perfectly, that's really when you see the difference. You'll shop smarter when you invest in high-end pieces, shop during sales, or check designer third-party retail websites, resale websites, and secondhand sites to find the best deals. Now, when I started to buy better quality bags, I started to notice I felt better about my overall look. And I wore my bag with pride because it was made better and kept its shape longer. Then I really loved it. I loved carrying a nicer bag. I had pride of ownership and felt like I just looked more polished and professional. Now, I always get my bags secondhand, so I don't have to pay full price. That's the whole point. Now, I do have a lot of shoes in my collection that I really love and enjoy wearing, and I love to mix a high-low outfit with an interesting pair of shoes. That works for me. That's what I look forward to when getting dressed, is picking my shoes. If you mix high and low, what is your favorite high-end piece and what is your designer piece? What is your high-end designer piece? Let me know below in the comments. Now, for lower priced items, how low should we really go? Now, low, notice I did not say how low can we go? How low should we go? When I see something cool and trendy that I like, say like a t-shirt, that can be something low end. So if you're into t-shirts or you like to wear them, then a way to shop for them on the cheap is to shop vintage, just like I did at ThriftCon. For example, the rock and roll authentic tees, they can be very, very pricey. But like a knockoff band tee is something you can do on the cheap. You can look at vintage stores in your area or look at websites like ThredUp or Etsy, or even go on Instagram and search vintage tees, and you'll find people that sell really just that. This is a great way to mix high and low. You could put a vintage rock and roll t-shirt under a blazer with a designer shoes, designer jewelry, designer jeans, a leather jacket, a moderately priced bag, and then you're good to go. You can mix your costume with real jewelry, which is what I like to do. I like to have very nice costume jewelry mixing with my real, and that makes all of your jewelry look real. That's another way to do a great high-low look. Another way to shop low end actually is denim. Levi's to me is the number one way to get a great jean at a great price. Now, there are other companies like Good American and Madewell that have jeans that are priced moderately and have a great product for less. Once you have great basics on the lower end, it's super easy to mix with high end to create a perfect high low mix. Now, if you need more help, make sure you check out your Pinterest board this week. Just head on over to our Pinterest. You'll see that in the show notes below with ideas on how to mix high and low end pieces to elevate your look. Any other questions? Make sure you email me, Holly at Holly Katz Styling or Holly at Fashion Crimes Podcast. I'm always checking my email. I'm always answering your questions. I got a lot of great feedback. I did this episode, probably an episode very similar, how to mix high and low, about 2 years ago. This is an updated version of how to mix high and low. And send me some pics. Make sure that if you are on social media, that you have followed us, Fashion Crimes Podcast on Instagram and Holly Katz Styling on Instagram. Hit us up on YouTube for sure. And as always, on Pinterest. Now, if you want to try this trend and you don't know where to start, what do you have more of? Do you have more high end? Do you have more low end? Let's just say you have more low end items and a very few amount of high end items. Take your best low end item, a very high end pair of shoes that maybe you don't wear very often, with a t-shirt, a jacket, and throw on a designer bag and some costume jewelry. Snaps. That is a great way to have a high and low mixed look. But again, that's just one way. There are tons of ways to do it. Make sure you send me your pics. Send me an email. Let me know how you're doing. I am so excited that you guys have decided to join me today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below and check out the show notes. I want to know what you think. Y'all have a fabulous, fashionable week. Bye.